what we are observing in Canada is that basically because our population growth rate is associated mainly with immigration. I said earlier that we have about 1% growth in Canada. 2/3 of this growth is associated to immigration. Those immigrants are not distributed evenly on the Canadian territory. Most of them are establishing themselves in Ontario, in Quebec, in BC, in Alberta. Very few are actually going, for example, in the Atlantic provinces. So when we go at the regional level, we see huge differences in population growth rate between the different regions of Canada. Usually what we've observed over the last 20 years is that the growth rate is lower in the Atlantic provinces. It is higher in Ontario, in Alberta, of course, related, for example, to the booming economy there associated with the exploitation of natural resources. So Alberta has been kind of the province leading the dance related to the population growth. So we are seeing differences between one coast to the next. One very important and very interesting trend as well is that for the first time recently, we've observed negative natural increase in the Atlantic provinces, and that was a first. I think the first year it happened was in 2011 in Newfoundland and Labrador, which means that in these Atlantic provinces, right now we observe more deaths than births in a given year. So in the absence of any immigration, the population would decrease. And so that's why, as they attract few immigrants, they have a negative natural increase. That's why the population growth in Atlantic provinces is quite low, very close to zero, if not sometimes a bit negative. In Alberta, the natural increase remain positive, more births than deaths. They have they attract a fair number of immigrants per year, and they have also interprovincial migration, so people going out of other provinces to come and to live in Alberta. So when you're putting those three components of growth all together, it leads to a fairly high growth in Alberta. So to sum up, there's some important and big differences between the demographic trends between the regions of Canada right now.